I made my brother-in-law a Pokeball money box for Christmas. A quick overview, I underglazed the rims so that would all be red. The top glaze is Raspberry Mist by Mako, the bottom is clear, and the centre is black underglaze and Mako Stroke and Coat Cottontail. So here's the process of me making it. I somehow missed the centering and opening part, but here is me closing the form to make a closed piece. Now, as I mentioned in the caption, I followed a tutorial by Earth Nation Ceramics that Dante did on their YouTube channel called How to Make a Pokeball on the Wheel. So thank you, Dante, for that. And that video was very useful for the trimming part of this project. So here I'm using a metal rib to round out the form. It turned out a bit squat in the end, but that's okay. So I'm just leaving it on the bat to dry and I can put it back on the wheel and it's still centered. So I'm marking out where the center divide goes, getting a good perspective instead of from being on top, and slowly carving that out with my trimming tool. Using a pencil to put it in some guides for the money box part of this, which Dante doesn't do, but I thought I would make it a money box. So here I'm cutting out for the coin slot. And shortly I will use the 45-degree angle trick to cut off the lid. Here it goes. So it just sits in there nicely without having to make a flange or a gallery. And now I'm trimming the bottom and trying to get as round as I can. And as I mentioned earlier, I did underglaze the rim of the lid and the base of the Pokeball so that I didn't have any white patches, because this clay is white and I didn't want to have a glaze gap, because if I glazed it they would stick together. So here I am using a very wet chuck that I threw not long before this, trying to follow Dante's tutorial. It just worked. I was lucky enough that it worked, but I had a lot of trouble trimming this part of the ball. I ended up getting quite thin and it was hard because the tool was jumping around because of the divots already in the form. So that is what I'm showing you here at about 10 times speed, that I kept fussing over it, and then I didn't have much clay left, but I didn't have any cracks, so I just survived, luckily. The kiln and glazed and clay gods were all good to me with this piece, just in time for Christmas. So here we go, and some pictures of the final piece. So close up of the lid, and thank you very much for watching.